I'm not charming, I'm not pretty, I'm so fat, I'm so ugly. How can you be so blind? How can you say I'm one of a kind? I starve for perfection, I hate my own reflection. The voice won't stop until I throw it all up. You want to eat because you're stressed. You're not hungry, you're upset. Don't do anything you know you'll regret. Suppress that hunger and forget. Hold in the pain and wait you'll never gain. Count the numbers and count on me just like that. You'll be skinny. Don't be naive, don't be deceived. I'm not as perfect as you claim me to be. It's not how it shows, it's never how it seems. I wish my weight was as low as my self-esteem. Let's go back to how it all started. This is the story of a teenage girl. She went on with her life like any other girl her age. Went to school, did her homework, went out with friends. You know, the usual. She was very content with her life. Good friends, supportive parents, good health, good education. She truly believed she had it all. One day in the winter of 2017, she attended a friend's birthday party. It was all fun and games until her eyes fell on one of her best friends. Was she always skinnier than me? It was a simple thought that she decided to brush off at the time, not knowing that it would all go downhill for her after that. So she went on with the day and got home after the party, and she took a glimpse of her reflection in the mirror. Were my cheeks always this chubby, and were my thighs always this big? Again, she was irritated. Again, she decided to brush it off. Yet her subconscious had other plans. Simply going to the gym to stay fit turned into an obsession with losing all extra weight, which later on progressed into having strict diets, starvation even. And then came the day she decided to throw up. I ate more than necessary, she thought. That one biscuit was way too much. Soon after, weighing herself every day was a routine, counting calories was a default, and working out until she almost passed out was a must. Even though her friends and family members and everyone around her would compliment how she looked, how fit she seemed, how pretty she was, she just couldn't listen. They don't understand me, she'd say. My vision board is different from theirs. I need to become better, prettier, skinnier. And it went on and on for months, a year and 3 months to be exact. However, on one specific day, the day before her 17th birthday, she couldn't handle it anymore, and she broke down crying in front of her father, admitting to everything, the daily breakdown sessions, the starvation, everything. Fortunately, her father was very supportive and offered to help her in any way she wanted. And so she booked an appointment with a psychiatrist. Why are you making a big deal out of this? You're dramatizing this too much. Oh, you're normally a dramatic person, aren't you? Was all the doctor had to say to her. So she went back home that day, cried on the way back, cried in the bathroom. Was I seriously making a big deal out of nothing? And later that night, she went to her father. Dad, everything is okay. Nothing is wrong. I'm fine. I am fine. And she stayed in that same state for 4 additional months, crying, breaking down, starving herself, throwing up, handshaking as she's holding the fork, only for her father to catch her breaking down again and confronting her. Listen, you can't keep doing this to yourself. We need to find a solution for this issue. And so he booked an appointment with a different psychiatrist. She was then diagnosed with atypical anorexia nervosa, an eating disorder characterized by intense fear of gaining weight or of becoming fat, along with persistent behaviors that interfere with weight gain, such as starvation and purging. And so she got the diagnosis from here, started working on herself from there. She took her prescribed medication. She tried her best to get rid of her bad habits. She gradually stopped throwing up. She started eating better, and she got better. You'd think the story ends here and she lived happily ever after, right? Nope. That was only the tip of the iceberg. There was more to it than meets the eye. A few more months then passed by, and she was in her senior year. She started going back to her old ways, started fearing food, started throwing up. She didn't know why it was happening again. She took her medication, so why was it happening again? It's happening again. The atmosphere is gloomy and my chest feels heavy. I feel so low, but I was fine a second ago. I kind of knew that it would happen again, because even if I was truly okay, I was subconsciously counting down the days to when I relapsed once again. But was I even fine to begin with, or was I, as usual, hiding behind a lie? It's obvious that I want to cry, trying to convince myself that I've gotten better, that everything could have never been better. But it seems I forgot how good of an actress I can be, that I managed to fool everyone, even me. I'm as hypocritical as ever, it seems, telling everyone to love themselves when I can't even bring myself to accept me. I will admit it for the second time, I'm not fine, I'm really not okay, and I'm doing the same mistake by pushing help away. It's like this weight is pinning me down and I'm just so helpless. Why is it hard to breathe? Why can't I tolerate myself? Why can't I love myself? When I take a glimpse of myself, I just can't help but scrutinize it. Why aren't you what I want you to be? Why can't the person I am become whom I want to be? Take a break and look inside my mind. It's all my fault right from the start. I beat myself up way too hard. I set standards for myself too high that no matter how hard I try, no matter how far I run or attempt to fly, I'll never reach them because they're unrealistic. And so I become awfully pessimistic, and all these thoughts jumble up within. Dysmorphia has settled in. I hate how I look, my body, my skin. There's too much to say, but where to begin? Where am I supposed to begin? She decided to wait it out. Hopefully it would be sorted out on its own, but it was a critical time. She was in her senior year. She had to figure out what career path to pursue, and with all the assignments and exams, she was already lost, stressed, and confused, and eating disorder wasn't really a good addition. So she made the decision to go back to her psychiatrist. And it was then that she found out she had borderline personality disorder, also known as emotion dysregulation disorder, an instability of self-image, relationships, and mood, uncertainty about life goals, impulsivity, obsessiveness, and low self-esteem. The thing about borderline is that it's mostly accompanied by other mental disorders, such as depressive and bipolar disorders, hyperactivity disorder, anxiety disorders, substance use disorders, and eating disorders. So it wasn't all about fear of gaining weight as it had seemed. The eating disorder was there because of her disturbed self-image. Main cause? Borderline. It was also then that she noticed minor details in her life which she thought were normal. As part of disturbed self-image, there was always a shift in her life goals. She jumped from activity to activity, which made picking a field to study extremely challenging for her. Borderline is also characterized by an identity disturbance, which explained why she found it hard to form her own opinions on things, and why she often felt lost, like she didn't know herself. Am I kind or condescending, trustworthy or manipulative, confident or insecure? And this leads us to the next point. A major aspect of borderline is a coping mechanism known as splitting. It's when an individual views people, objects, beliefs, opinions, even himself, as either good or bad. When it came to her daily life, she'd either drown herself in books and study till the break of dawn, or lie down and do nothing. She'd make the simplest of mistakes, which opened streams to non-ending destructive thoughts. For example, oh, she took a wrong turn while driving. She can't do anything right. She's a horrible person. She's a burden to everyone around her. She's ugly. Life is ugly. Studying is hard. Eating is bad. And everything and everyone is just horrible. Or so she would believe. When applying this to her eating habits, she'd either follow a specific strict diet or not eat at all, work out until she almost passed out, or not work out at all. Another major aspect of borderline is the constant mood swings, and it was the cause of many problems for her. She'd often feel anxious and depressed with no motivation to do anything. A second later, she'd be flowing with energy, doing many things at once, only to get bored soon after. So this is borderline. Exploding clusters of emotions and endless tribulations, all jumbled up within in forms of insecurity and frustrations, begging to be unleashed, but I kept them inside. And they weren't happy with that, so they hurt me till I cried. Be it starvation or degrading from my abilities, setting unrealistic goals for me and telling myself I'm not as good as I should be. Perfectionism kills me, I'm self-destructive. So this is borderline. Getting attached, finding a person who perfectly matched. Even if they were clearly bad, I loved them with all I had. Only to push them away and detach. They were perfect, but now they're clearly bad. It's okay, maybe loving people isn't my catch. Idealization and devaluation, they accompany me, they're a hideous batch. So this is borderline. Aching chest and heavy eyes, closed doors and silent cries. Me begging for attention, it's my cry for help, I'm easing the tension. I try to accomplish what's best for me, but thought of commitment suffocates me. Dilemmas drown me, I'm indecisive, hot-headed, reckless, and so impulsive. I lack an identity. I don't understand myself, I don't know me. It wasn't mainly happy nor fine. Welcome to my life, I guess. This is borderline. However, I have battled traumas, and I'm a warrior. See my resilience? I am a survivor. I'm empathetic, I feel you. I understand what you go through. That's why I'm comfortable to talk to. And when I love too deep, loyal and passionate beyond belief. I set my mind on something and I get it done. Stay tuned, my passion has just begun. And when my emotions explode, creativity overflows. I'd write and draw and dance what I feel. It validates me. What I'm going through is real. I'm protective and intuitive. Yes, I'm impulsive, but I'm bold. I'm adventurous, so behold. I see chances and make them mine. Welcome to my life. This is also borderline. So now that she had found out the core of the problem, she started treating the right thing. She started pinpointing the triggers, understanding her symptoms and what they can cause so that she can prevent an unwanted reaction, as well as coming to terms with her disorder, understanding the strong points and using them in her advantage. Naturally, the eating disorder slowly subsided as well. See, it all started with the fear of food, but it wasn't the full picture. The important thing was to treat the main cause, not the after effect. There were definitely ups and downs. Sometimes she would relapse, and that's okay, as long as she got back up. Having supportive friends and family members pushed her to get better. Even at times, she wished she could just give up. And you see, when it comes to healing, it's a slow, long journey. And there is no absolute fixed method for it. It's flexible to some and hard to obtain for others. You'll trip and fall, and you will get hurt. But in the end, regardless of all the pain, there is always, always a solution. And you will always find an answer to all of your confusion. Minute by minute and day by day, more secrets are revealed. I know myself more, and my deepest scars are healed. More mysteries await, whether I come to love them or hate. I want to know more about my state, and have taken the right step towards my recovery and content. This disorder will not hinder me. I understand it. I've had this epiphany. I won't fight myself anymore. I won't hurt myself anymore. I won't hate myself for it anymore. Blend with what I used to despise, the time I planned my own demise, and I'll be fine this time for sure. If you know anyone who's going through something similar, be supportive, listen to them, urge them to get help, but don't pressure them. Don't confront them, comfort them. Having support in times like these would help, even if just a little. And if you are going through something similar, I want you to value yourself and applaud yourself for acknowledging that something is wrong. The first step to getting better is validating yourself and what you're going through. Although normalized under the disguise of raising awareness, mental illnesses are not the normal. However, having one is normal. It's the ordinary in one way or another. If you can't go through your daily life doing your usual chores without feeling overwhelmed, if you find it hard to eat or sleep, if you're crying every day, or if you think that something could possibly be wrong, I urge you to take action. Get help in the way that suits you. However, it's not good to just stick to self-diagnosis. While it's good to read and research, know more about a possible condition you might have, it's better to check with a professional in this field for more accuracy and precision. And just because you could relate to a thing or two doesn't mean you have an entire disorder. The wound is not always as shallow as it seems. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to feel bad sometimes. It's okay to have bad experiences sometimes as well. Just always make sure your health is your top priority. My name is Salma Ehab. I'm a medical school student, an aspiring poet. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder 3 years ago, and this was my story.